The loneliness of entrepreneurship. Oh, isn't it lonely?
It is.
Yeah.
As I smile.
Yeah, you're smiling because you smile out of stress sometimes, I bet. I think that's you.
Oh, 100%.
Laughing,
it's like laughing
stress.
Instead of crying.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed that nobody ever warns you about this part of entrepreneurship? Not the marketing, not the money. Not even the long nights. I'm talking about the silence. The silence after you make a decision that could change everything. The silence when your team goes home and the weight is all on your shoulders. Oof. That's the silence, right? You're celebrating a win all alone or carrying a loss all on your own. The entrepreneurship has a way of putting you on an island, even when you're surrounded by people. Because the truth is what? The higher you climb,
the more lonely it is.
The lonelier it is, yes. But it really is more about the less people understand, right? Because they're at their level of understanding about what they do. But once you've kind of climbed up to entrepreneurship as a CEO or a director of some sort, now they may have been there at their time in their life. But what you're going through at that moment in that business, and it's your business. So if we're talking about your business as an entrepreneur, they don't know because it's your business.
Yeah.
So we're talking about that like weight on your shoulders as an entrepreneur. And it has a way of putting you on this island, even when there's people there to like support you. I think it's the fewer people who understand that pressure, the people that can hold that weight for you. It becomes smaller and smaller. And I think that's where most business owners start to break. It's not from the workload, right? Because we can handle work. I think you and I are types of people. I can handle work. And it's not from the strategy, but it's from the loneliness. Today, we're going to talk about that part of entrepreneurship that nobody talks about. It's the part that is costing leaders their mental health, their clarity, their confidence, and their joy. Because leading alone, it's not noble. It's dangerous. And if you've ever been carrying everything by yourself, you've stopped scrolling. Here is where you need to listen. You're in the right place. We're going to talk about why leading alone is breaking today's business owners. So what do you think about this statement? Entrepreneurship creates a leadership vacuum.
Ooh.
You know, when you start a business, you start to lose peers.
Yes. Well, I think when I think about that statement, I feel like once you've reached a certain point as an entrepreneur or a leader, I feel that you cross over into the category of visionary.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, you're standing in a place where you're thinking about things that other people don't think about. Timelines, different scenarios, different aspects, multiple things, multiple lanes. And when you've reached that point, others just can't. They might be able to help you with a percentage of it or be supportive in a certain way, but no one's fully able to see everything from your perspective.
Yeah, because like you become the decision maker.
Yeah, well, you've reached so far up, let's say like a mountain. You're climbing the mountain and you're at the top peak part and you can look down and see the entire mountain, whereas they might be giving you feedback at halfway up the mountain and they can only see so much and their perspective is different. So, and I think it's almost, it's draining in a different way because you want to be supportive back when they're supportive for you and say, thank you. Yes, I totally understand that, because to say to someone, no, you fully don't get it, that can be hurtful and crush them. And then they don't support you anymore. So you have to be the one to lift yourself up, but also lift others up when they're trying to be supportive for you. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So like you become the problem solver and then the emotional shock absorber. There's no one really above you to check in or to guide you, to validate that direction. So this is where most business owners, they don't lack support. They lack qualified support. What do you think about that? Qualified support.
Qualified support. It's about, like we say in a lot of episodes, about finding your tribe. You can find.
We're going to get to that later. I love this transition. Yes, we are going to get to that. That's going to be one of our things.
Qualified. I just had this conversation with a team member of mine for Sharkapalooza about we are in desperate need of finding others like us, ones that hustle, get a lot done. We're spinning a lot of plates at the same time. Not everybody has that capacity to do that.
Yes.
So you can find people, but it's qualified. And you're talking about qualifications in a lot of different areas, not just work ethic, emotional, mental, uh, responsiveness. There's a lot of different areas.
Yeah, you're surrounded by people, but no one is actually with you. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean like you.
Yes.
Most entrepreneur, like most of us in today's age of entrepreneurship, business owners are online, and like your support group could be spread out throughout the
The
globe,
country, the
right?
globe. Yeah.
Everywhere. It could be everywhere. So when I mean like no one's actually with you, it could literally be in the room and or the group. We're talking about online groups, you know. Yeah, the pressure to have it all together.
Someone once said to me, Jess, when you think about like Tony Robbins, right? He's this inspirational speaker and he pumps other people up. But the reality is he's also human. So I'm sure that there are some days that he wakes up and has to be his own cheerleader. And that's what people forget, that behind closed doors, you have to be your own cheerleader, your own negotiator. When you have those moments of like, why am I doing this? Talk yourself off the ledge. All of that's going on up here, and no one can truly be there with you.
No, they can't because they're not. That's not the support that you need. You have support in other types of like, ways, but not the support that the other type of support you need. You need that support, but you also need almost like an equal partner type of support, kind of like what you and I have.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
feel like that's what we have as partners. You can come to me, I can come to you, business wise, or even on other levels. I think
Right.
it's good to find a partner, a tribe, build that tribe with people that are not just like minded, but also have the same goals. They're on the same level as you. And I don't mean level, I don't want people to think that, oh, we're above everyone else. Above, and not the aspect of what you're thinking when you hear that above. Let's just not even say above. It's not above. Let's just say a different responsibilities. We have different responsibilities, and we want to connect with other people that have those same types of responsibilities. There we
It's
go.
like
Say
it's
that.
like speaking the same language.
Right, right.
If someone, for example, came to me and they were a doctor or an emergency room nurse and they start telling me the stresses of their job, I would never be able to understand that, because we're speaking different language, different experiences. So to
Yes.
find someone else who gets what you're saying, we're both speaking English or Russian or whatever, but you get it.
Do you ever feel like you can't show fear, doubt, or confusion,
Yes,
even when you're
especially
drowning?
to my teams, the different teams I have. When
That's
I
good.
walk into a meeting, often I feel like, okay, if I'm feeling apprehension, there's a certain level of explaining I can do about the situation to share the severity of it or how crucial something is that we need to work on.
Mhm.
But if I show stress at the top of, dear God, how is this going to happen? How are we going to make this work? I'm the leader. I'm the one that's ahead of us. So how are they going to feel? So I feel a lot of leaders hold that pressure of manning the ship and having a positive attitude.
Mm. Yeah, the
And
leadership. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
That leadership mask, it becomes the job, and the more successful you look, the more isolated you become. And I think because the performance of leadership becomes heavier than the work itself.
Ugh. Yes.
So, what about the emotional cost of carrying everything alone? That decision fatigue, the identity erosion, chronic stress, loss of joy, feeling misunderstood, even by the people who love you the most. No space to be human, only the leader.
Yes.
Gosh darn it, there is an emotional cost to all of this.
Well, and I think right now, even if you just look at health trends, stress is now a chronic killer. And it's way more important than ever that leaders manage their stress and their health, because if you don't, it literally could kill you. Literally.
It literally, yeah, it literally can. It can. It can be lonely in your spot, in the spot that you're in as a leader, as a CEO, leading people, or even the mission, your objectives. But loneliness it's not the absence of people; it's the absence of being misunderstood. And I kind of like how we just thought of this right now. It's like we're not above, because no one's above anybody. It's just not think
No.
of it that way. You could at work think of it as a hierarchy, but it's not really above. And I think that's where we kind of mess up in our words. We think that we see the chart, right? And the chart is like,
The org chart.
right,
Yes.
it's like the leaders at the top. And maybe that's actually where we need to start as organizations, is not thinking that the leaders at the top It almost needs to be more of a line where the leader's over here and you're over here, and there's no beginning or end. It's just different parts of the line. And I think if we can start visualizing that, then maybe people within the organization would be a little bit more open or willing to help where you need that help.
Yeah. Well, and I think any good leader, if you look at them, they're also, yes, they might be the CEO, the founder, but they're also someone who, if the trash needs to be taken out, will take it out. If the kitchen needs to be cleaned up, they'll do that. They know what it is like to be at the different rungs of the ladder and how important those different rungs of the ladder are. Every part of the organization is important. I think the loneliness comes in because, like we said, emotionally, how do you handle all of the rungs of the ladder?
How? These are all good questions. Why do you think entrepreneurs don't ask for help?
I think the lack of resources and stubbornness. I mean, there's the obvious answers for a lot of entrepreneurs of, I don't want to show weakness. I have it myself, but I also feel that if the conversation was talked about more, it would be more mainstream and we would understand that there are resources out there to help each other, whether it's like we were saying, you and I, that when you do have an issue, knowing who you can talk to, knowing how your body responds to stress, listening to your body, listening to your mind of when you need to take a break. But we live in a society where we have to go all the time, and asking for help is weakness. So we need to change that paradigm.
Yeah. Fear of losing authority. You ever have that?
Yeah. If the leader shows weakness, then they've lost their authority when that's not the case.
Yeah. Or fear of being judged. That's a big one. People like, I don't want to be judged as, looked at as a weak leader, vulnerable leader, or someone who can't figure it all out, even though we can't. Like, we know this as a fact that we don't know it all, but yet we don't want to look like we don't know it all. What the fuck is going on there in our minds?
Yeah, but I feel like people that are authentically themselves will admit when they don't know. And I feel that makes a stronger leader. When a leader can say, hey guys, I'm not really sure about XYZ. Let's figure it out together.
I have one.
Yes.
And I want to know what you think about this one. What about the resistance? Like resistance because no one will be there when you need them. Resistance asking for support because you feel that no one's going to be there when you need it. You ever run into that?
Actually, yes. I think in the last few years of my life, I've worked very hard to find a good tribe. But for a portion of my life, I would let people in and ask for help. And then it became a situation where they would pull away and blame me for my issues. That I'm too draining, that my depression or my stress is too much for them. So then it was like, okay, I'm too much. I don't need to talk to anyone about it anymore. So I think leaders do find that if, and it's, I feel like a test and response situation. And until you truly find your right tribe who, when you show them your true self or those moments where you're low or weak and they respond continuously over and over again, supportively, and they don't leave, then it's a safe space.
Yeah.
But that could be said for any type of relationship. You prove yourself, right? Like not everybody who comes into your circle deserves your time or your energy or your inner thoughts. They have to earn that. And it's the same thing with business.
I think entrepreneurs, they don't, most of them don't, they don't avoid help because they don't need it, because everyone needs it. I think they avoid it because they don't trust it.
Yeah. Oh, trust is a huge issue.
Yeah. So let me tell you a quick, I don't know why every time I start a show, I always end up getting like fucking a throg.
A throg?
I get a throg in my throat.
Is that a lizard frog together? That's what I'm thinking. A throg.
All morning I could be talking. As soon as I get on the show, it's just like,
it's me. It's me.
It's you. You're making me all froggy.
Throggy.
Throggy. So I remember sitting in my office late nights and tell me, and if you all have gone through this, entrepreneurs, we want to hear. You want to hear that you're going through this too. We want to hear that we're not alone on this. I know I'm not alone because I've talked to many people about it, but we want to hear from people that are listening today.
Yes.
Yes. Have you ever been in this situation? You're sitting in your office or at home, wherever your office is. It's late. The lights are off. You're staring at the problem. And I didn't have an answer. My team was counting on me, you know, my family was counting on me. Clients were all counting on me. And for the first time, I realized I built something where everyone had support except me. So that's the moment that most entrepreneurs hit. That's that moment they realize the business is growing, but their support system isn't. And this is where we get into what we just mentioned earlier, just building a tribe, not a social circle. Building a tribe is so, so important. And it doesn't have to be within your organization. You know what I mean? Your tribe doesn't have to be like your fucking, you know, your director of marketing and your director of, they don't have to be in your tribe. These are other partners that you can deal with on a professional basis. But we're talking about a tribe, people that you can depend on. Okay. You need a person who's going to challenge your thinking. You need a person who understands the industry. You need a person who supports your emotional health. And you also need a person who's going to hold you accountable. Do you have people in your tribe that meet these needs?
Yes.
Which one am I? I need to know.
Oh, I didn't know this was going to be a pop quiz.
Yeah, pop quiz, Jess.
Well, you're
all right. If you don't answer quickly, then I'm not on the list at all.
No, you are. But here's no. You're a few of them, but for certain areas. I mean, we can talk about anything, but it also, you can have people fill different categories at maybe different times. You know, like I can call you and you can be like, Jess, you've got this. Or, you know, like I have a friend, Erica, which you and I are very similar about this, where some days she calls me and she's like, oh my gosh, Jess, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm your cheerleader. And then there's other times where we're yin yang, right? Where it's, I need that lifting up. So yes, I have people in my tribe that do all of those things, but sometimes they can shift into different categories. There's not one person
shift the roles.
Yes, it's not one person that I'm like, okay, I can always go to this person for this type of situation. It's that they're all, and I guess that's because they're just very good quality people and they get it.
Yeah.
What about you? What am I for you, Rex?
You are the person. Okay, so you were chosen.
Yes, I was chosen. Everybody, you heard that. You heard that.
I got it. I got her. I got her. Take the picture. Take the picture. Oh. Actually, that's the thumbnail right there. I got you. And
yes.
for a number of reasons and roles. Number one. I'm really good with reading people. And I could tell right off the bat that you were the type of person that cares about other people first. And I love that quality about people. I love it, dude, because that's who I am. For too long, I have been connecting with the other types. And it's just been draining, emotionally draining, professionally draining. Just, I'm always giving. That's why I am who I am. And I can't change who I am I love that about myself. Okay. I love that I'm a giving person and I'm a loving person. I love that.
Very positive quality, but it can be abused by others.
It can. So what I did was I just kind of shifted into the type of people that I'm collecting. Not collecting. Sounds kind of weird.
We're like Pokemon.
Yeah. Collect them all. Yeah. But it is. It's like kind of collecting a tribe, you know, or, you know, adding to my family of tribesmen. So I'm just more selective now because, you know, we've been burned. I've been burned in the past. I have been burned recently. You know who you are. I know you watch this. But you know what? I'm not going to allow them to change who I am.
Correct.
But it does. But what I can do is I can control how I react and treat them. Right. That entity, that individual, that organization, I can control me and how I treat them. Not the world, but them. So I don't change. I just change them, sort of. So we've been burned. We continue to be burned because you still kind of trust people to an extent. And this is where you learn, like, okay, this is why, you know, you learn as a fucking CEO. You're like, okay, who can I trust? Who can I not trust? It's tough, dude. I just had this conversation. It was about relationships, though. Gosh, women have it so tough, dude. Trusting.
That's how we actually met. Was you and I on a podcast talking about my issues.
What does a warrior look like?
Yes.
Aw, that's where you started.
That's where we started.
Look where you are now. At the top. Talking about all those people down there. No, I'm just kidding. No.
But
It's not a
most
hierarchy. It's not a hierarchy.
it's not a hierarchy. But
No.
most CEOs that I have met, business owners, they over the years learn to test people. And I don't mean like a written test, but
How do you test people?
I don't want to say like psychological tests. It's not mind games, but it's little things, questions or projects or things that you do to try to clue into the person's personality type, psyche, to understand if how they operate and if they are someone who's going to fulfill that role that you're looking for to be fulfilled, if they're a good fit.
So this is all about finding who's going to be good for your tribe.
Yes.
That's perfect. That's beautiful. I do the same thing. And it's not a psychological test. It really is just like, hey, let me just give this individual like something that I need. If they can help me, if they want to support me, they'll show me with action. Because I'm an action guy, dude. I'm all about action.
Yes.
Action, action, action. Anybody can talk. Anybody can talk big. But if you want to support me and if you actually support me with action, I'm like, okay, there's a little bit of action. Now I'm going to support you and I will support you with action. Once we start, because that's how fucking relationships work. Okay. It's a collaboration. I just did a fucking short video on that. It's not just about collecting leverage. If you're collecting leverage, we can tell early in the relationship. You'll be able to sense that if somebody's just collecting leverage for you. Actually, that's a whole nother show we'll get into later.
Yes.
But yes, we're talking about trusting and collecting a tribe. But you can sense that in people if they're just collecting leverage on you. And if you sense that early, that red flag, it's up to you to collect the red flag and be accountable for it and say, you know what, we're done. It doesn't have to be so dramatic. It could just be like, hey, you want to ghost him, whatever, do whatever works. But in who I am, I'm a man of action. So I'd be more like, hey, you know what? This relationship isn't really working out. I kind of going a different way. So I think you should go your way, my way, and peace be with you and always with you. And then we move on. It's fine. What I really hate is ghosting. And I've reached out to business owners myself too. I promise this will be short. So I reach out to business owners. They want to do business with me. I do a little business with them. And then I get good feedback from their clients, from their employees, from their team, great feedback on them. And so I'm like, okay, so this is a positive thing. Are you listening? Because feedback is how you find out if your shit is working. Feedback, you got to collect feedback. And then they start ghosting you. And it's like, what are you doing? You wanted this. We both thought this was great. It's actually working. And you want to cut the relationship? What the?
I feel like in some of those situations, you're holding a mirror up to that person. And they realize that if they move forward, they're going to have to meet you at your level. Again, it's not about being better. It's about commitment, the amount of energy, the amount of dedication you're going to put into a project. And if you come in saying, I'm ready to do 100%, and the other person's like, whoa, I see they're ready to do 100. I need to do 100. I don't want to do that. It's just easier to, instead of acknowledge I can't meet them where they're at, I'm just going to slowly.
Yep. Yeah, I think I have come down to that conclusion with certain individuals, certain organizations, and I have come down to that exact conclusion. You know why? Because they're government entities. Government work, bro. Most of y'all out there, you know who you are. You're doing the bare minimum. You just want to get by. You're getting your steady paycheck. Steady paycheck. I'm sitting high in the hog. I don't have to do extra work. Still, you're not going to do extra work. Fine.
Because it's not their business. They just show up 8 to 5 and then they can just go home. They don't have to care about the consequences of doing their job or not doing their job.
Hey.
We're not bitter at all.
Peace be with you, man. God bless you all. And you know what? You can stay mediocre and stay where you're at. I don't really care. We will be big. We continue to grow because we're continuing to grow with individuals who want success, who want impact, who want to see that growth. You're never going to see growth if you're not continuously like going for the growth factor, which is what we bring.
Yes. And I think, and I'm just thinking of this right now, because I feel like you hit a nail on the head, that often people will say, oh, well, you just want someone to be like you. I'm not asking someone to be like me and do everything that I'm doing, but I want them to show up in the version of themselves that they want to show up in and not complain about why they're upset at where they're at when they haven't applied themselves. And I think other entrepreneurs have that energy of understanding the showing up part.
Yeah. Look, if you want different results, you got to do something different. Okay.
Insanity, the definition.
You're going to keep doing the same thing. You're going to get the same results. Don't look at this other organization or look at these other people like, oh my gosh, these people are doing great. What are they doing? Not what you're doing. Duh. So if you don't, if you don't intentionally build this tribe that we're talking about, that is a huge mug, by the way. Yeah, there's room for 20,000 stickers on that thing.
I know, right? We'll just go around. Yes, lots of stickers.
I still need to send you my mug on your mug. There's
right?
no room on that mug.
We'll fit you on there somewhere.
Okay. Send me your address. Not right now. Okay. Not on here. Yeah, look, if you don't intentionally build this tribe that we're talking about, you're going to default to isolation, right? You're just going to fall back to that isolation pattern, because we are humans. No matter how big you think you are, no matter how great your business you think you're doing, we all of us human beings are patterns. We love patterns. We love it. That's just who we are. And if you're isolating yourself, you don't have that tribe to depend on, to support on, to lean on when you need them, you're going to default back to isolation.
And I think also fighting isolation is understanding your own signals when you are, I don't want to say declining or going down a spiral, but for lack of better terms, yes, you should listen to yourself. I know I said that before, but I think it's critical. Like, I know a lot of people that are very successful, and they know when they start doing things in their own life and they're like, okay, whoa, I'm starting to snowball. This is where I need to ask for help. I need to grow my team. I need to get that business loan. I need to talk to someone, whether it's a counselor or a friend. Understanding how you respond to things.
Yeah.
And responding to those responses is important.
Yeah. I have a great system for that, because we all know that we are creatures of habit, right? We like habits. We like patterns. So why not build a system that reduces that isolation? When you build a system, what is a system? Predictable patterns, right?
Yes.
So here's one tip. Maybe build weekly leadership meetings. That's going to help you get your word out, get your objectives out, right? What's the narrative? What are we talking about? What's going on this week? You wouldn't believe, Jess, the people that I do business with, you wouldn't freaking believe how many people don't have just simple weekly meetings. What?
Yeah.
You could reduce so many issues in your organization by just having a weekly leadership meeting.
And I think if you're a solo entrepreneur, that making some sort of repetition of joining a networking group or a chamber or doing something in your weekly schedule that gets you out of the house or out of your office, connecting with people, connecting with ideas. I think that a lot of solo entrepreneurs, if you stay in your own silo, your own office, home, that can be very detrimental.
Mm-hmm. There's got to be a rhythm. And if you can start building these systems in place, like a clear decision-making framework, maybe, like if you just add that into like your system, it's like, okay, here's my framework for making a decision, or prioritizing, delegating structures, like have that already built in. So you don't have to, and this is going to tie in with our other episode, right? Decision fatigue. So we won't get too much into that, but because we're going to cover a lot in that episode right there. But here's a tactical business coaching tip. Okay. Is create systems, create stability, and stability reduces loneliness. What do you think about that? Systems create stability, and stability reduces loneliness.
Yes.
You have any systems that work for you?
Oh, yes. There's certain things I have planned on my calendar each week that never change. And
that reduce that loneliness.
Yes, because I know that I can count on them, and they also give me a sense of control.
Is it me?
Of course, you're one of them. But it's true.
It helps. Doesn't it help? Let's be fucking real.
Because
it does help.
Yes, because as an entrepreneur or a CEO of a company, every day is going to be out of your control. There are going to be things that happen that you didn't see coming. No day is the same. So by creating some sort of structure, it's like a child, some sort of structure.
You're like a child.
Is going to give you some grounding and some false sense of security. Or a real sense of security.
Yeah. Systems, like I said, we are creatures of patterns, of habits. So why not build systems, which are habits and patterns, that are going to create that stability, reduce that loneliness, like those meetings, create those leadership meetings, or create meetings with your tribesmen weekly. I meet up with my my tribe at least once a week. It has helped so much, not only in business, but personally, mentally, physically, spiritually. It helps that whole triad in who I am. It helps me refocus, because I do have individuals in my tribe that also fit all of those. Not just like, oh, hey, I want to shoot the shit. I need to talk to you, man. Something happened with somebody and I want to, vent. And they're literally going to listen. Not just that,
true,
but that's really good.
Yes, but if it's one-sided, they're an energy vampire and they should not be in your tribe.
Yes. So yes, I have people. Yes, you are definitely one. You fit into a lot of different roles in those two.
Thank you.
I have people that I can, hey man, I text you, hey, real quick, let's have a quick phone call. And if they can, we do it. And then they already know I got something to say. So they're okay. They're going to be like, okay, what you got? And then once I'm done and they give me any feedback they've got, now, because of the relationship that we established in the beginning, like we said, we're being very deliberate in choosing those people in your tribe. I know that it's a mutual respect in our relationship. So after I'm done, I'm like, okay, now what do you got? I'm ready to listen. Because most people have other things that they want to talk about. It's not just, I just want to complain. Okay, time to go. Bye. See ya. It's like, no, I truly care about my people. So I'm like, okay, what's going on with you in your week? What do you got? Like, is there anything I can assist with you now? Because sometimes when you have someone to just, not just vent. Okay. So most of the time I don't call people in my tribe to vent. I'm looking for maybe what I'm really looking for is perspective. Okay. I don't need an answer. What I'm looking for is perspective. And usually I do get it because the people in my tribe are very intelligent. They're smart. They've been through life and they understand. So they're like, hey, Rex, well, what about, have you seen this? Have you looked at it this way? And sometimes I'm like, okay, yes, I've covered that. And they're like, yeah, you're right. You're not overreacting, or it's not this, or it's not that.
But it's also, and I hate this phrase that I'm about to say because I think it's so overused. It's a safe space.
God, I hate that word.
I hate it. But it meaning that
it is though.
When you call that person, because I have those people that when I call, I can word vomit to them what's in my head, and I know they're not going to judge me, think less of me, think different of me. They see me as a human being and they see me as Jess, and they understand that Jess is made up of a lot of different components and that maybe I'm overwhelmed in the moment, so I'm unable to see outside of the box I'm stuck in. And they're not going to judge me for that. And I think that that's important versus someone that you fear having that conversation with because they might change that the way they view you.
Yeah.
Because that's not helpful either.
No, it's not. And here's our tactical coaching, business coaching tip is that systems create stability. Stability reduces loneliness. Okay. So create systems patterns so that you can reduce that loneliness. Now, my coaching tip for the person is replace I'm fine. Have you ever said that in business? Hey, Jess, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah. And it's bullshit.
I know it's bullshit.
It's such bullshit.
We've just programmed ourselves to just instantly respond. How you doing? I'm fine. I'm fine. No, you're fucking not, because no one's fine.
No, when you say that you're fine, it literally is the two words that equal the visual of the dog in the dumpster with the fire around in the coffee cup. I'm fine.
Where's mine? It's back there. You can't see it. But my coaching tip for that is to replace I'm fine with here's what I'm working through and here's the plan. So that's going to help build trust without dumping emotional weight on your team. Okay. So just allow them in. This is a way to allow them in. Remember, in your team, you've got to build trust. You build trust, you build relationships. You build trust through repetition, constantly being accountable, holding yourself accountable, proving yourself trustworthy. And people can trust what they know, not what they don't know. So if you allow them in and let them know, hey, well, this is what I'm working on right now. And it could be a list. So maybe that could be a sign to your team like, whoa, boss has got a lot going on. How can I support? And then we can start getting into accepting support, because sometimes we're unwilling to accept support because of those other issues. Like I don't trust it. And that's what we're going to get into next episode, delegation. So pay attention to that. It's coming right after this. But it helps build that trust without dumping all that emotional weight on the other individual. What do you think about that?
I think it's key.
Concur?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's yes.
Yes. It's yes. I want Jess's stamp of approval.
It's yes.
Cool. Listen, we're going to wrap this up. Entrepreneurship wasn't meant to be a solo mission. Okay. Leading alone is breaking today's business owners. It's not because you're weak, but because you're human. You don't need more grit. You need more support. So deliberately look for the support that is willing and able and that can prove to support you, and hold on to them. You got anything else?
Give yourself grace.
Yeah.
And remind yourself that you are a human being and that you're not supposed to be a superhero or perfect. And take that nap if you need it. And drink that water.
Yes.
Drink your water, bitch.
Here, let's take a quick sip while we end this show. You ready? Put in the comments, what are you drinking today?